Hello students, welcome back to online classes of Semstar Global School. I am Fizza Akhtar and yesterday we started with this chapter Pushkar written by Hugs and Colleen Ganster. This is part 2 of this video and in this part we are going to deal with the main chapter. But before proceeding, let us see some words and their pronunciation. So let us do pronunciation drill. The first word is Raikars. Raikars. Second is Gujjars. Third, ancestors. Fourth, irresistible. It is irresistible. Next is succulent. It is succulent. Next word, purged. Next is awkwardly. Awkwardly. Next word, pitchforks. Next word, inflatable. It's not inflatable, it's inflatable. And the last word is chortling. Chortling. So your job is now to rewind the video and hear the pronunciations again because your pronunciation really matters. So I had told you about Pushkar. It is a place near Ajmer. It is in Rajasthan. And in this place, every year, a fair is held that basically deals with trading of livestock. I had told the background of the chapter in detail in the previous video. Those who are joining for the first time, please go back, see part 1 and then come again. Let's start. I'll read and then I'll explain. In the long blue evenings of autumn, when the moon begins to fatten for the brightest night of the year, the tribes start to move. They stream out from all over Rajasthan, heading for the land around Pushkar. There are camel-herding Raikars with turbans like blazing sunsets, wandering Gujjars, their women in gypsy, bright skirts swaying like flowers in a breeze, Lohars with their creaking, nail-studded carts, and martial bills whose ancestors were dreaded warriors. Okay, so the chapter started with that the locals of this place, Rajasthan, from all around Rajasthan, they start to move towards Pushkar. And basically they travel in evenings or at night because the sun sets and the weather becomes cool, because basically in deserts the days are very hot. That is why they move in evenings or at night. So it's written that they start to move, the tribes, that means the local people, they start to move in the evenings of autumn. Autumn is a period when we move from summers to winter. In India, basically it is from September to February or March. So in the season of autumn and in evening, they start to move when the moon is there at its high position, full moon is there. And there are 4 or 5 castes of people that are basically mentioned here, and they were Raikars, Gujjars, Lohars and Bhils. Raikars are the people who trade in or who herd camels. So they were wearing turbans that are dark orange in color. That is why it is compared with blazing sunsets. You must have seen during sunset, at the time of sunset, the sun turns to a very bright orange color. So that is the similar color of the turbans of these Raikars. Then there are people like Gujjars, and Gujjars are people from pastoral community. Pastoral means the one who is having land for grazing of animals. So these people, they wander from place to place. That means they travel from place to place in search of food and shelter. So they are traveling along with their women, along with their wives, who were wearing gypsies. Sorry, not gypsies, they were wearing skirts, bright colored skirts that was swaying. Swaying means it was moving forward and backward because of the strong breeze that was blowing there. And then there were Lohars with their creaking, nail-studded carts. Lohars are your blacksmith. Blacksmith, the people who repair or make things out of iron, and basically by their hands. And last is your martial bhils, whose ancestors were dreaded warriors. Martial are people related to soldiers and army. And bhils are the local people from central India. Central India is somewhere around Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. So these martial bhils, whose ancestors were warriors. Ancestors are your forefathers, means the generation before you. So that was the description of all the peoples that were moving from all around Rajasthan towards this Pushkar for Pushkar Mela. The next paragraph says, Pushkar has held one of the world's most colorful animal fairs every year for centuries. Cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and horses are bought and sold after much bargaining. It is also an annual gathering of families, normally separated by great stretches of desert. So I had told you this, that a carnival is held every year at Pushkar, and it is one of the world's most colorful animal fairs in which the trading of livestock is done. And these includes camel, sheep, goats, horses, etc. So, and these are bought and sold after much negotiation. The other important aspect is that families and friends, they gather at one place because they are not able to meet regularly during regular days. And they are not able to meet because of the fact that they had to cross a long way through these deserts, and it is not possible for local people to travel so much. That is why they are gathering at one place annually, and they are able to meet their friends and family. The next paragraph says, relatives and friends greet each other, and there's a great deal of fun, eating, and shopping. Because it is a fair, so people are excited, they are very happy, and that is why they are roaming about, eating and shopping whatever they want, whatever they like. The next paragraph says, Pushkar excited our senses. The sand felt soft under our feet. The irresistible aroma of frying pakoras and sizzling, succulent golden jalebis emerged from a dhaba. Okay, so because the authors are writing their experiences, that is why they are saying that Pushkar excited them, because they had never seen such energy, such excitement ever in their life. And as they were moving on the sand, they could feel its existence under their feet. And because Pushkar Mela have stalls containing food items, that is why these authors can smell that the pakoras and the jalebis are being fried up. So they were not able to control themselves. They were not able to, ignore that smell. And that smell attracted them to the dhaba. And what they saw there, that the pakoras and the juicy jalebis, succulent means juicy or soft, the juicy jalebis are being fried up. Then it is written, its owner was a man with the build of a wrestler and the expression of a movie villain. We risked his appearance and told him what we wanted. The jalebis were hot and crunchy, dripping with juicy sweetness. The high-calorie snack filled us with energy. So the man sitting at the dhaba as the owner was having a stern expression, or you can say he was looking like a villain because he was having a kind of an angry look, and his body was looking like some kind of a wrestler. So these two people, the authors, they risked his appearance, meaning they chose to speak to him despite having his scary look. They don't want to speak to this man because he was not having a happy look, but instead they spoke and they asked whatever they wanted, and they took the jalebis, and it was having a crunchy and a very juicy texture, and they ate it, and that is why they were filled with energy. The next paragraph says, we clicked a tourist perched awkwardly on a camel, looking rather nervous. In front of the camel, a man lay near a sharp pile of long-handled pitchforks called chokni. He had a mobile phone plastered to his ear. Pushkar bridges time and equipment with Chocony and mobile phone perfectly matched. So these authors saw a tourist who was sitting at the back of the camel, and he was sitting very awkwardly. Means he was looking nervous, he was not confident, and that is why he was looking nervous. So these authors, they clicked a photograph of that tourist sitting on the camel. And next what they saw was that there was another man who was sitting in front of a camel, and he was having a pitchfork in his hand. Pitchfork is a tool or an instrument that has long handles or 2-3 curved metal points used to move hay. Hay is dried grass and straws that is used as a fodder or a food for cattle. So this man was having a pitchfork in his hand. It is in the local language, it is called chokni. He was having a chokni in his hand, and he was having a phone that was stuck to his ear. That means he was talking to somebody on the phone as well. And on one hand he was having a pitchfork and he was doing some work. So it's written, Pushkar bridges time and equipment with Chocony and mobile phone perfectly matched. This means that on one hand, the locals of this place, they are using pitchforks and instruments like Chocony in this era, and on the other hand, they have moved ahead. They have upgraded their lifestyle, and they are moving and they are using mobile phones as well. So I can say that there's a kind of contradictory scene going on here, that on one hand people are using Chocony, and on the other hand they are using mobile phones as well. So this was noticed by these authors as well. I hope this much is clear to everyone. Those who have not understood anything, you can ask me on Google Classroom. And please do revise the chapter again, rewind the video, see it again carefully, so that if you are having any problem, you could understand that. We'll proceed with this in the next part of the video. Till then, keep studying, keep revising. Take care everybody, and thank you.